Let's add a clap now. We've used up both of our MIDI slots already. All we have left are audio, but I want to use another MIDI channel. So easiest way to do that is right-clicking, insert MIDI track. Voila. Let's go back to our instruments and impulse, and we have a new channel that we can put samples into. Back to samples here, and I'm going to type in clap. I like this one. It's nice and sharp. For this one, I'm going to pick 3 claps. Oh, I like it. Perfect. 3 different types of claps with slightly different ranges of frequencies that we can play with. The reason I want 3 here, we're going to take what we learned with hats and we're going to expand on it. So let's start a new sequence. You can see all 3 of our claps here. Now claps tend to lay on the second beat like this, and then again here. That's the standard place for a clap if you're just building a classic electronic music track. Of course, there's different variations of how you can use your claps, and of course, you can explore that as you go on. But in this particular case, we're just going to use a standard clap placement. Now, I showed you how to separate these by pulling them off the grid. We're going to do the same thing here, but 3 times. So all 3 claps are going to land just slightly different than the last one. Okay? Let's listen to that. I'm going to mute the other channels out so you can really hear this. Right off the bat, look at the levels. It's redlining. Let's pull it down. Listen to the variation in those claps. I like it. If you had 3 people clapping on stage, you're going to get 3 different claps every time, right? That's what we're trying to emulate here. And the human brain can pick up on it. Though they may not realize what you did, there is something more inviting to a natural clap. I like this so much, we're going to extend it. Let's go in here, go into length, and we're going to double this sequence length. I can highlight these 4 segments. Control C for copy, and I'm going to layer this in, Control V, to put that into the next section. Okay, so now we have 2 more claps. Of course, you can just draw them in again if you want to, but I want to make these different from the first 2 now. I want 4 distinctly different clap sounds. There. All 4 are different. Very subtle. And we're talking fractions of a second here, okay? You don't want to be pulling these too far off. Otherwise, you get a really bad effect. Okay? So let's keep it right there. Now, we're going to go even further with this. This is where it starts to get really cool and how you can really expand your percussion to make it more humanized. We're going to open up our impulse channel by double clicking on the channel top here. Double click brings our impulse back again. Here are our 3 samples. We're going to make this wide, okay? If we click on the first sample here, right down here, there's a panning option. We're going to take this, I'm going to take the left one and I'm going to pan it to the left. I'm going to leave the middle one in the middle. And I'm going to take the right one and I'm going to pan that to the right. Now, what kind of effect do you think that's going to have on the sequence? Where one sample is panned left and the other is panned right. Let's take a listen. Can you hear the width? It actually sounds like the claps are starting to whip back and forth. This is where we're going. All of those percussive elements that you've heard in all of your favorite tracks, I want you to start to pay attention to this. I want you to go back to that same track that you've been looking at. I want you to start to listen to the individual percussive sounds. I want you to listen to what they're doing with panning. It's this simple. This takes a little bit of time to go in, zoom in, and edit where those sounds are placed. But I promise you, this is such a fundamental and important element to making your song sound organic. It's so crucial that you slow down and look at what you're doing and why you're doing it. We're going to keep coming back to this concept of paying attention to where each sound goes. I reiterate, every sound needs a purpose. Why did we pan it? Why did we place that clap there? What's going on? Pay attention. Every step of the way, it's important to pay attention.